Eileen's GPS announced her arrival with the sterile cheeriness only artificial voices could muster. The gravel crunched under her tires as she pulled up to the Airbnb, a pristine New England cottage, tucked between trees that looked like they hadn't changed since the 1800s. The house looked like a magazine spread, white clapboard siding, robin's egg shutters, a porch swing swaying gently in the breeze. Exactly the kind of place someone might go to find themselves, or lose themselves completely. Candace, the host, stood waiting on the porch, waving before Eileen had even turned off the ignition. Her smile was bright, too bright, the kind that pinched at the corners, like it had been stapled into place. "You must be Eileen," she chirped, clasping both of Eileen's hands the moment she stepped out of the car. "Welcome, welcome." There was something off about her, not unkind, just rehearsed. Her voice was warm, but distant, like an actress delivering her 50th performance of a line she'd never meant in the first place. Candace ushered her inside. The house smelled like lemon polish and lavender, the kind of clean that bordered on clinical. It was beautiful, no doubt. Lace curtains, cake furniture, dozens of framed photos of landscapes, but no people. Oddly, there were no mirrors. Not in the bathroom, not in the bedroom, not over the mantel. Eileen noticed, but didn't mind. After all, she wasn't exactly eager to catch glimpses of herself these days. 6 months post-breakup, and still stuck in the mud emotionally, she figured a mirror-free environment might be healing. "This is the only room that's off-limit," Candace said, pausing at a door at the end of the hall. Her tone stayed sugary, but her eyes sharpened. "Storage. Nothing interesting." Eileen nodded. No reason to pry. That night, she passed the door on her way to bed and noticed something strange. A faint, golden glow leaked from beneath it, pulsing softly like a heartbeat. She paused, hand hovering near the doorknob. Locked, of course. She shook it off. Dreamy lighting, an old house. Probably just a lamp left on. That night, she dreamed of the door, of soft whispers in a language she didn't understand. The next morning, she barely remembered the dream, just that it left her unsettled. By the third night, the dreams were more vivid, the whispers more urgent, and always the light under the door growing brighter. The pressure in her chest began to build, the way it does before a panic attack or a revelation. She confronted Candace over breakfast. "Why aren't there any mirrors in the house?" she asked casually. Candace looked up from her tea. "Mirrors," she repeated, like she didn't understand the word. "Yeah, like, I just realized, there's not a single one anywhere." Candace's smile returned, wider this time. "Most guests find them distracting. They come here to reflect, not to reflect on themselves." That night, the dream changed. She was standing in the forbidden room. No more whispers. Just silence, so thick it felt alive. In the dream, she turned to the wall and saw it. An ornate mirror, tall and narrow, framed in blackened gold, like it had been rescued from a castle fire. Her reflection stared back at her, but didn't move when she did. She woke up drenched in sweat. Enough was enough. The next evening, curiosity or something darker dragged her back to the door. It was unlocked. Inside, the room was bare, except for the mirror. It looked just like the one in her dream. Eileen stepped closer. The air around it felt wrong, like standing in front of a speaker broadcasting silence. She stared into the glass. At first, she saw herself, pale, tired. Then, slowly, the reflection shifted. Her face remained, but her eyes changed. They weren't her own anymore. The pupils dilated, unnaturally wide, and a slow grin curled up on the reflection's face, one Eileen hadn't made. She stepped back, heart hammering, and then Candace spoke. "You found it?" she said softly from behind her. "It likes you." Eileen turned, but Candace wasn't there. Not really. Her body stood in the doorway, but her eyes were vacant, empty, like someone else was wearing her skin. The mirror pulsed with light, Aileen tried to run, but her body felt like it had been dipped in cement. The last thing she saw before everything went dark was her own reflection reaching toward her from inside the glass. The next morning, a new review appeared on the Airbnb listing. Absolutely perfect. Clean, peaceful, exactly what I needed to reset. Host was wonderful. Thank you, Eileen. Candace was gone, but the new host, her smile was just as bright, her cardigan just as soft, her voice just as warm. The only difference was her eyes. And behind the locked door, the mirror pulsed gently, waiting.